Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of 5 of the Website What series. What are we covering this week? Who am I? What is all of this? Hi, I'm Ashley Sirokis. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, doTERRA Diamond essential oil educator, and a branding and website expert specifically supporting wellness entrepreneurs and health business owners because all y'all don't get taught how to do branding and websites. I'm known for being super transparent, super strategic, and I love to teach systems with soul to help free up your time and your jam-packed schedule so that you can get back to your zone of genius and all of the things that you really love doing in your business and your life. So what are we doing today? We are, first of all, say hello. I see Jenny is joining on Instagram Live. I want to double check here that Facebook is working properly with the video and that everyone can hear me. Otherwise, that is a waste. So give me one sec. Kayleen's on right now. Okay, I can hear myself. Perfect. I can see and hear myself on both Facebook and Instagram. And give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. If you want to introduce yourself, where you're from. If you don't know, I'm in kind of small town, southwestern Ontario, Canada, if you can't tell by the accent. But what are we covering today? This is, like I said, day 2 of 5. Fab is on as well. Today we are covering how to find the time to build your brand and website because this is a huge issue right now. Now, before I get started, again, I got my checklist here going. Before I get started, I want to cover and remind you that my course is opening up for enrollment next week, all about branding and website building. So there is a link in my profile if you want information on that, but to get $100 off and the option of a payment plan. So you're going to be able to get started in the course if you choose to for less than $150 Canadian next week. So if you want to get on that list, please click the link in my profile. All right, so today, why are we covering this whole thing of how to find the time to build your brand and website? Now, FYI, this, like I just said in my Instagram story before I went live, these excuses or reasons, because believe me, there are completely valid reasons as to why you don't have time to do whatever it is that you don't want in your business or your life. We constantly are saying, like, you see someone on the street and they're like, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I'm busy. And it's just like socially acceptable for us to lead with, I'm busy. What this tells us in our heads is that we're busy all the time and we don't have time to do the things that we really want to do. And you have to be very intentional to design this life and business if that's what you're doing with, being an entrepreneur. It takes so much time and energy to fight that societal pressure and expectation and the way that everyone lives in that we're all busy. So I sent out a questionnaire last month asking my audience about what they needed to know to grow their business. Like, I want to help you guys, but I don't know what you know. It's been a while since I first started, or maybe you want to know things that I didn't think you wanted to know. 72% of people said that time management and how to focus on what will really grow your business was the top concern out of everything, out of branding, website, blogging, growing the business, being on social media. It was time management and how to focus on what will really grow your business. Now, what we're going to talk about today is that those are actually, even though it's in one sentence, those are actually 2 different things. So the first one is time management. The second is how to focus on what will really grow your business. So I'm going to share my weekly schedule at the end of this live. Some of you might be watching me on social media and saying, oh my God, she's a doTERRA Diamond. She has this online course. She's constantly blogging. She's coming out with new content all the time. Like, how does she find the time to do it? And I'm going to share what my schedule actually looks like and how I bounce back and forth and focus on different projects because it's really hard to bounce back and forth. I will tell you that I feel like I'm failing all the time. However, my schedule for the most part works really well for me. So I'm going to share that at the end, but first we're going to have a truth talk here, guys. Okay. So, you think about wanting to build a website or building your brand or building your business or marketing or social media or anything. And the first thing that comes to mind is I'm busy, but I'm busy. So first of all, that is I think, preconditioned response, and it's socially acceptable for us to say I'm busy. But I want to ask you something. Do you really not have the time, or are you just getting stuck in comparison, in perfectionism, and in fear? And this is coming from a perfectionist, right? And a complete workaholic. And I don't want to put anything out into the world until I feel that it is up to my sometimes unachievable standards. So do you really not have the time, or are you afraid of not doing it right? No matter what it is. It could be growing a network marketing business. It could be in doTERRA. It could be teaching your first class. It could be reaching out to the first person. It could be building a website. It could be blogging. It doesn't matter what it is. I want to ask you, when you come up with that excuse of I'm busy and I don't have the time, do you really not have the time, or are you just afraid of not doing it right? That's a completely different thing. So as entrepreneurs, if you're watching this, you know that there is a never-ending list of things to do. There will never be nothing on your to-do list. Right now, I could think of literally probably 100 things that I could be doing right now at this very moment at 11:06 a.m. on whatever day it is. I could be doing all of those things. But, I'm learning this year especially that there is a skill that these top level leaders have, these CEOs, these people that are leading visions and missions and legacies. Holistic Jackie says, never a shortage of ideas. And you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, one of my top strengths is futuristic. So what this means is that first of all, I'm very creative. I have no shortage of ideas, but I can talk with someone for 5 minutes about their business and then say, oh my God, you could do this, or you could do this, or you could do this, or you could do this. And I can see what their business could be 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. But there's a lot of little decisions that need to be made on the way, and there's a lot of roadblocks in the way. So I want to ask you, do you spend, and this is totally me, way longer on tasks because you're trying to make them perfect? Do you wait until something is perfect before you launch it? You've waited too long. There's a saying that if you're not embarrassed by the first version of something that you do, then you waited too long to launch it. And what that means is you were actually losing out on potential customers while you were waiting for it to be perfect. Because our customers don't need us to be perfect. They need us to show up, and they need us to be there. That's all that they need us to do. People want to know us. Not whether we're using the exact right logo or brand or colors. That's part of it. But they don't know that that's what is making their decision to want to pay attention to you and to want to work with you. So as your business starts to grow, the most important question isn't, how do I do this thing? But how do I do the thing that's worth doing? That is the most important question. And if any of you are moms that are watching this, you know that, again, just like in our houses, we have a million things that we could be doing. I mean, it might actually be renovation projects, but it might be things like you sit on the couch and you're like, well, I could be doing another load of laundry. I could be dusting. I could be sweeping. I could be doing the dishes. My kids, I could be reading to them. Like, there's never any shortage of things to do. But in that moment, maybe for your own sanity, your priority needs to be sitting on the couch and relaxing. So the most important skill that you need, that you probably have in other areas of your life that you're just not applying to your business, is prioritizing. That is the number one skill that you need to be a successful entrepreneur. And the reason why I say that is because everyone else has an agenda. Social media has an agenda. We talked about yesterday in the live, which you can see the recordings for the lives up on, click the link in my profile, and all of these replays as we go throughout the week are going to be available on demand for free. No email required. So we talked about yesterday how, like, Facebook's agenda is they are a corporation that legally needs to make more money next year than this year. So they need to get more people paying for ads. Pinterest is now going that way. Instagram is going that way. Everything that you use, every piece of software that you use in your business, everything that you consume, everyone's agenda is, I want your time and your money. Everything in the world. Think about it. You drive down the street and there's billboards, and you go out at a store and people are asking you for your email address. They're asking to have a piece of your time and of your money. And it is your job, as you start growing in your business or in your life, period, your most important skill is prioritizing. So as your business grows, you'll always run out of time. In fact, you'll have even less time. So would you rather spend that time now? Maybe if you do actually have it, and we'll talk about that in a minute, building a foundation of systems that are going to free up your time later when your business is bigger and when your hourly rate is actually worth more. So when you say you don't have time, we've all heard the story of how, you have a jam-packed schedule. You might maybe you have a regular corporate job. You have a day of meetings. You have to go get groceries. You have to do this, that, and the other thing. And your list, your schedule is blocked off from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. And then you get a call from your child's school. And they're like, your child's sick. They're throwing up. You need to come get them. Or you get in a car accident. Or you get a flat tire. All of a sudden, all of those things that were on your to-do list that you were like, oh, I absolutely 1,000% need to do these things. All of a sudden, they are not your priority anymore. And all of a sudden, you have found the time to do something else that you didn't think that you had time for. This is why prioritization is key. It is not doing the things, it is doing the things that are worth it, that are going to move the needle forward. So when I talk about creating these systems and creating these foundations of systems that are going to free up your time later, it's like the story of the three little pigs. I was thinking about this. I was trying to come up with an analogy to explain to you all why maybe coming up with the time to build your brand and your website, while it might feel like you don't have the time now, or it might feel like a waste of time because you might not get results like the minute after you post your website, but it's like the story of the three little pigs. So the third pig, who doesn't know the story of the three little pigs? But there were three pigs. There was a big bad wolf. The first pig wanted to build his house fast, and he built it out of straw. The second pig wanted to build his house fast as well, so he built it out of sticks. And the third pig took his time and built a solid house out of bricks. And his brothers were making fun of him, saying, like, you're taking too long. This is stupid. It's a waste of time. Look at us over here having fun because our houses are already made. And then when the big bad wolf came along, he blew over the straw house like it was nothing and the house of sticks like it was nothing. But he couldn't blow the house down that was made of bricks because it had a solid foundation, it was properly built, and he couldn't blow it down. So I want you to think of this. Your website is like the house of bricks. It is the house that you are building from the foundation up. You can even think of it, yesterday we talked about the analogy of your website is like your house, your living room and the way that you welcome people into your house and how it feels. It's like your house. So when you build a house, you don't start with the roof. You don't put the walls up right away. You build a solid foundation. You take the time to ask yourself, how do I want this house to feel? What is the flow of how I'm going to use this house? Do I need a pantry in my kitchen or not? Do I need that many cabinets in my kitchen? How many bedrooms do I need? You don't just go, I'm going to build a 10-room house because I can. You look at it and say, but I don't need 10 bedrooms. I only need 3. That's how we need to be with our website, is we need to look at it and say, how are we going to use the website? What is the feel? How do we want to direct our future paying customers through our website so that they can experience us fully? Jack says, love that analogy. My website is totally my bricks because I built it, Jackie, and that's how I built it to be. But yes, Jackie's website, we just talked about how she just booked 2 or 3 one-on-one paying clients, and she did it through her email list. And those people got on her email list because she had like that housed on her website. She had her house of her website, and she just made $2,000 because she sent out one email to 130 people or 170 people and got 2 paying clients totaling $2,000. Like that's insane. We were talking this morning about how like that's amazing that we can actually do that. So when you think about that, your house is your website. The big bad wolf might be like the social media algorithms. And you spend, Jackie says 170 people. So the big bad wolf is like the social media algorithms. You spend time. You think, I'm going to build my house quickly by building it on social media. I don't need a website. I'm going to be on Instagram and Facebook, and that's where everyone is anyways. It's like the party, right? So you build it quickly, and you think you have a solid house until the big bad wolf, the social media algorithms change, and then he literally blows your hard work away in one puff. All of a sudden, no one is seeing your posts. No one is paying attention because you built your house out of a not solid foundation. So let's be honest about social media. You're not likely going to put up one post and all of a sudden someone's going to pay you hundreds or thousands of dollars. You have to create trust over time. And we talked about yesterday how social media is like the bar. It's sexy. It's fun. Who doesn't like going and having a couple of drinks and going to the bar? Like I remember, I totally can't do it now, but I remember being in university and how fun it was to just go and just like uninhibited dancing and bumping up with people and like getting your groove on. Like that was fun. However, it was really hard to get someone's full attention. You're not having life-changing discussions at the bar. Maybe you are with your drunk girlfriend in the bathroom and you're going, I love you. Oh my God, I love you. Like we've all been there, done that. But it's really hard to get someone's attention because everything is noisy. Everything is trying to get everyone's time and energy. So you need to focus it and bring them home. And the home online is your website. So if you're okay with spinning your wheels, you're trying to grow on social media, that's fine. If that is your jam and you are having success at it, because again, it's not, are you on social media? It's not how many followers do you have? It's, are you converting those people into paying customers? If your priority in your business is making money, and I'm guessing that you're not in business unless you're trying to make money. So, you know where I'm saying? Your priority should not be growing followers. Your priority should be turning your existing followers and any new followers into paying clients as quickly as possible. That's what it's about. So if you're ready to build a legacy that's solid, no matter what algorithm is doing, no matter what the algorithm is doing, no matter what new social media platform comes out. Remember a couple years ago, everyone was on Periscope and everyone's like, Periscope, we're going to like, it's the next biggest thing and we're all going to have so much success on Periscope. Like, when was the last time you ever heard about Periscope? I mean, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn, I guess is social media, but like YouTube, like 5 social media platforms have stuck around out of probably thousands or hundreds of thousands or even millions that have been attempted to have been made. So, you know, you want to build your legacy on a solid foundation no matter what comes out, and that those other things are what everyone's going to think are going to be the magic bullet. Their priority is going to become those things, and then when those things go away, then they're screwed again. It's like, no, let's build it, and that's what I'm teaching you all this week, right? So keep watching this week. Okay, before I share what my actual schedule is pretty much during the week, I wanted to put another shout out that if you want to get potentially $100 off my course, the ability to pay with payment plans, which is only going to be open for 4 days. I don't want to say hate payment plans. I dislike payment plans, but people love them. So I'm only offering them, you guys, for 4 days. You could get started with my course for less than $150 Canadian. If you want the option for that, click the link in my profile and join my list. If not, that's totally okay. It's not, you don't have to buy because you're joining my email list. So let me share with you my schedule. I'm actually I don't need to pull up my schedule. So what I do, and when you look at me doing doTERRA and you look at me doing Brand Build Blog and I have my course and I have blogging and I share all of this content, how does it actually get made? So first of all, know that I work a lot. I just hired 2 assistants, very part-time assistants, but I just got some help because my close friends and family were like, you're drowning. So Jackie, who's watching this, is like, you're kind of drowning a little bit. We see you drowning. Can you please get yourself some help? Like, please put your own life preserver on, put your own oxygen mask on. So I do have help, but I probably work, I'm guessing in total 40 to 50 hours a week. It's been that way. Like I do love working. So generally I work, and this is a common thing that I hear from moms and people who are maybe transitioning from the corporate world to the self-employed, being at home world and working from home, is when I'm at home during the day, when my son, so I have a 6.5-year-old son, he's in grade 1, he goes to school, his bell rings at 8:40. Whoever takes him to school is usually home by 8:50. My husband works from home as well and has his own business. So generally from the hours of 9 a.m., and we do after school care with my son as well, which took me a long time to get over the guilt of that. But we pick him up about 4:30. So between the hours of 9 and 4:30, I literally work my ass off. It is rare. Now, every 2 weeks, I will get my nails done. Once a month, I have a massage, and I do those things first thing in the morning because my anxiety gets so bad later in the day that I just won't do them. So I do, any of my appointments are first thing in the morning, and those are about once a month, once every other week. I do have an appointment that I take up my work hours with, but the rest of the time, I am working. I am not doing laundry. I am not loading the dishwasher. I mean, I make myself lunch. I make a nice, healthy, whole foods lunch. I eat snacks, of course. Sometimes I'll go for a walk if I need it, although I do that first thing in the morning. But I am not doing all the other things. You are not at home. You are not working when you're like, oh, I'm just going to pop out on Friday and do a Costco run. If you are wanting to work, You need to protect your work hours. That is caveat number one. Number two is I have started this year. I noticed I was getting really run down and my bucket was low, and it's because I wasn't taking care of myself first. So the first hour of my day from 9 to 10 a.m., I've learned that I kind of have to walk. I mean, days when it's raining, I don't walk, but I generally go for a walk for about half an hour every morning, because when I walk, I'm a nicer person to be around. When I don't walk, I turn into a raging bitch with my husband and my son and anyone else who is around me, which isn't very many people because I'm a huge introvert, but I need to walk. And that has now become like a non-negotiable unless it is pouring rain outside. I put the snow pants on, I go out, unless it's unsafe, I am walking, and then I come home and I have my breakfast, and I take my time eating my breakfast because Jackie knows. She's doing the laughing emoji and then the covering, she knows. So I make sure that I have a relaxed breakfast because my stomach is very much controlled by my emotions. And if I feel rushed and if I feel like I don't have enough time in my day, nothing digests properly and I feel sick to my stomach literally all day. So for me, I have to create these calm experiences of eating in order to function the rest of the day. And when I say that, I'm not meaning that facetiously. Like, I mean truly to function. So then from the hours pretty much of 10 until 4:30, I'm trying to work as much as I can. And Mondays are blogging and content creation days. So Monday, I have the entire day blocked off. I have learned about myself that while I thought I was a great multitasker, I'm actually a really bad multitasker. With my son as well, if I'm doing something and focused on something and he's coming in and asking a million questions, which is fine because that's what kids do, I'm just like, I get really overwhelmed and I'm just like, can I just focus on what I'm doing? And that motherhood has made me realize that I need to focus on pretty much one task at a time, which is why I block my days for specific actions. So Mondays are blog writing days. It may be, most of the time it's a blog for my business side, for my, what eventually turns into a brand build blog course sale. But the other side I have is I do have a health side. I have a doTERRA team. I love talking about healthy things, but rarely will I make a blog post about that. So now what I've done is I've started giving myself 2 weeks to write a blog post because my blog posts are so huge and so epic. But I pretty much spend that day writing or outlining to do some of these videos. It's content creation day. Tuesday, I am in a mastermind to grow my brand build blog online course sales. This was a very expensive mastermind. There are people in that mastermind, I'm not kidding you guys, the launches of their courses sell, and I'm not joking, $400,000. And I'm here like, hey guys, I have like 20 students. So when I get imposter syndrome, you guys. But Tuesday is generally focused on creating my course at this point and selling my course. Wednesdays are like doTERRA. Wednesdays are my mentoring days. I usually do 3 or 4 mentoring sessions with my personally enrolled builders. That's when I'm following up with customers. I do a 60-day follow-up. When I have a new customer start with me, I'm sending them their welcome emails throughout the week. I'm not waiting until Wednesday, but when I actually connect with people to help mentor them or to help them in their business with doTERRA, it is all on Wednesdays. And I do have a mastermind call with that program that I just mentioned on Wednesday afternoons. It's a standing appointment. And then there are calls. A lot of doTERRA's calls as a diamond. There's a diamond call. There's a monthly leadership call. Generally, those calls are on Wednesday, and I try to have everything on Wednesday. Hi, Bex. Thank you so much, love. She loves my content. I love you guys. I love you, Rebecca. Thank you. So Wednesday is doTERRA day. Thursday generally is right now, and we're going to talk about how I swing back and forth between projects. So right now I'm getting ready to launch my course next week and make it available for all of you. So the past 2 months, my Tuesdays and Thursdays have been focused on Brand Build Blog and the content and all of anything related to that. So that's what Thursday is right now. Friday, I've opened up as a creative catch-up day. Friday are my days that if I don't have anything pressing, if I'm not launching anything, those are the days where I'm taking pictures with my camera for social media. I'm just fooling around with things on Photoshop. I might just be going out and finding props to take pretty pictures with. Like Friday, I try to leave open, but the last couple months, it's been, I have, work to do to prep for this launch. So it's been kind of brand build blog launch stuff as well, which is totally okay. Because what I do is I will switch back and forth between a month or two of one main project at a time. So within that week, Monday is always blogging, whether it's health or business. Wednesday's always doTERRA fully. And I mean, we're fitting in classes, we're fitting in live streams. Everything is kind of throughout the week when I'm feeling really good with that. And when there's a message that needs to come out of me, I'll pop in my groups and do a live, but those are generally unscheduled. But there are times where I'm launching my course, and then there are times where I want to focus on doTERRA. I'm probably going to swing into focusing on the doTERRA side of my business after this launch. I know that there are a couple of things that have been on my mind for a few months that my assistants are going to help me with. But that's going to be my project, and I don't know when I'm going to be swinging back in a major way to the brand build blog side. I had a plan for the year. I wrote about it on one of my blog posts, and that plan might change because I follow my intuition. When my intuition, like for instance, the Light Up Your Biz quiz that I created at the beginning of the year, that was not on my schedule. That idea came to me in December. I took a lot of December off, and that idea came to me and it stuck. So I get a lot of ideas. I'm futuristic. I get a lot of ideas that come to me. I've come to realize that I don't have to act on them all, but what I do is I'll write it down if it's something that I'm like, ooh, that's a really good idea. I'll write it down and I'll just sit on it for a couple weeks, and I won't. If something comes to me, a further part of that idea, I'll go and write it down. Generally, I'm organizing things in Trello, which I'm looking at right now, and I'm talking about the notes for this live. But I will sit on it for a couple weeks. And if I'm still like obsessed with that idea after a couple of weeks, I will then implement it. So the Light Up Your Biz quiz that I launched at the end of January, beginning of February, that was an idea that came to me in the middle of December. It was not in my marketing schedule. It was not anything that I planned on doing. But this idea came to me, which if you don't know what it is, it's a 10 question quiz that will let you know as a wellness practitioner which stream of business model should you use in your business. Should you do one-on-one consulting, kind of more the traditional method? Should you do online programs, or should you do network marketing based on your personality? And that idea came to me and it would not leave my head. And so I hunkered down in January, and all of that free time on the Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays was spent making that quiz. And that quiz has found me at least 2 paying clients of my course on autopilot. So it's made me at least probably $1,000 to $1,200. It has found me, I believe, a couple of business builders in doTERRA since then. So absolutely spending that month focusing on getting that project done instead of spreading it out over like 6 months, because I'm working on tiny pieces here and there. I found that when I have a month or two, there are some people also that do these 90-day sprints in their business. They'll have one focus that they work on for 90 days, and they implement projects throughout those 90 days, and then they move on to the next one. It's not this, let it go on forever until it's done. It's, here's the due date, this is when we're launching, and if you need to publicly declare when you're launching something, because again, it goes back to if you are not almost embarrassed of the first version of something that you've launched, you've waited too long. Stop getting stuck in it needs to be perfect to launch it, and just do the damn thing. Just do it. And so that's where I'm recommending for some people with getting a website done. You can spread that out. And in my course, I have a Trello board actually that you can copy for free. And all of the tasks that you need to complete your website, your brand, your website, and this amazing blogging schedule that's going to find customers on autopilot, it's all spread out. You have the option of a 30-day calendar, a 90-day calendar, and a 6-month calendar. So obviously the 6-month, the tasks are just spread out. That would be someone maybe working 2 to 5 hours a week on their website and getting it done in 6 months. But then there are the people that are like, I know it's a sacrifice with my time. I would rather just get it all done in 30 days and because then what's going to happen is you have the foundation set up that you then can build on. The longer that you wait to build your website and your brand, the longer you're putting off the amazing autopilot success that you're going to have, because you need to have those systems in place. And the longer you take to implement the systems, the base level of them, there's always these other ideas you can add on. Like my quiz was not required, I was still getting email subscribers and some sales on autopilot. That was just another level of success that added to fuel to the fire to get that train going a little bit faster. So you have to get the foundation in place, and then maybe 3 or 6 months from now, when you're ready to swing to another project, you say, okay, what's the next level of thing that I want to create that will be this sustainable, everlasting system of attracting new paying clients and customers? And then, 3 or 6 months later, you go, and it's okay to go back and forth. It's also okay and absolutely necessary to plan a month or two of rest in your calendar. Summer is very much a downtime in doTERRA, so I will focus on another project, but also focus on taking maybe a week or two off. Let's be real, it's like a day or two because I love working. So that's how I work my schedule. Sunday nights, we just ran a 6 weeks to elite program for my doTERRA team. And now I'm trying to launch another team, just doing some one-on-one calls. And those are pretty much filling my Sunday nights from 8:30 until 9:30, because a lot of people are not, they still have full-time jobs. And so we need to do night calls, and we need to do on the weekend and get them ready and pumped up for the week ahead. So I will do some night things. My oils classes, when I'm doing them, are at night generally. Sometimes they're on a weekend, but a lot of times they're on a weeknight. But that's how I have to plan my week, is because I need to time block specific activities and just get the damn thing done. But it's much easier than flipping back and forth between these little small tasks. Batching them together is going to save you time. I don't know what the exact number is, but every time you switch between a task, you lose something like 5 or 8 minutes of productivity, because then you have to go, what was I doing? Oh, and then you need to refamiliarize yourself. For me, splitting my blog post writing up over 2 Mondays, while I love it and having the ability and the time to create really epic content for you all, the second Monday, when I go back and look at, I have to reread the entire blog post of what I've written so far. And it takes me time to get back into that flow of what that idea that was trying to come out of me. So if you can sit down and do a whole session of something all at once, and maybe you do daycare and you're wanting to do daycare for your kids, and you're like, do I do 1 hour, 4 days a week, or do I do one block of 3 or 4 hours one time a week? I would say do the block. And you make sure that you are not doing anything else during that time. You're not doing laundry. You're not running around. You're not doing errands. You're not getting groceries. You are working. Okay? So now that you know that you actually do have the time, it's just a question of what is your priority. And I'm not going to say what your priority is. Only you know what your priorities are. But if your priorities are building your business, if your priorities are making money, you need to look at your entire schedule that you spend on your business and say, if my priorities are this, are the actions that are in my calendar getting me towards my goal of whatever my priority is? And if the answer is no, then that's on you. You do have the time. Just like in your daily life, if you're saying, I want to get better, I want to lose 20 pounds, but everything in your life is habits that are not helping you to lose weight, then it's because your daily habits are not matching up with the goal. And then that's where this is butting heads, and you're getting frustrated and overwhelmed, and then you start to feel like a failure, and you start to talk down to yourself, which is never good. So I'm going to be coming back tomorrow talking about, what am I talking about tomorrow? I have all these such great subjects and I get stuck in one that I'm just like, what am I talking about tomorrow? Tomorrow we are talking about why hiring out your website could be your biggest business mistake ever. Now, it's not always a mistake. I don't want you to think that hiring something out is a mistake. It's absolutely not. But we're going to talk about the right way to work with a website designer if, in fact, you decide that it is the right decision for you to hire it out and you have the funds to do that. That's what we're talking about tomorrow. Reminder, if you want these recordings, if you're watching this on IGTV, you can just click the caption and it will take you to where you can get to see the other recordings. And if you want to opt in to get $100 off of my course and the option of a payment plan, by all means, click the link in my profile and join my waitlist. I will see you guys tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions. Lovely as always. Thank you guys. Bye.